The Marvel Cinematic Universe, probably the longest ongoing movie franchise of our time, with more than 20 movies connected all in one narrative. It's pretty freaking big. And because I'm bored a lot, a few years ago I started working on a pretty freaking big project. And that is putting all these different movies that take place over different times, different settings, different galaxies, all into one chronological timeline. So that basically means taking every single scene in every single movie out of the respective movies, placing it in one giant Premiere Pro project file in order to when it happens in the MCU. Whew. It's been a while. It's a pretty big topic to handle, so I've listed a bunch of different time codes in the description of where I put them in my Supercut. Although it doesn't include any audio mixing, any extra stuff I've added into the timeline, overlays, titling, none of that. Just literally the video that is playing on screen. Now, just to give a brief overview of what the project is going to look like, here's a few screenshots of the timeline. Now, it's a pretty big and long file, so long in fact that I had to break it up into two different parts because my dumbass didn't know that Premiere Pro only lets you have 24 hours in a timeline. So if I could start this whole thing over again, I'd probably want to work in Final Cut Pro and, you know, bite the bullet, learn how to do the stupid magnetic timeline and learn all the different shortcuts. And I'm a Premiere guy. I like Adobe. And by the end, not including the one-shots, deleted scenes, TV shows, extra crap, even the credits, you're going to end up with about 44 hours. I want to somehow copy all the cast and crew from every single one of these movies and put it into like one giant credit scene that kind of resembles a Marvel end credit scene with, you know, with the little dots and stuff in between the different artists and names and stuff, but I haven't found a way to do that. I'm probably going to also add the one-shots too eventually, maybe even the deleted scenes. I'll get to it. Now, a few things to note. As I've noticed during this editing process, a lot of the files you need to edit with audio, and having 5.1 channels is really helpful because you can enable and disable different audio channels if you need be. You can fade them out and stuff, so that really came in handy, especially with this one cut in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which I didn't figure out for like 3 days, and it kind of drove me crazy. I also tried to keep context in parts of mine, so it's not truly chronological, but there's context within the timeline that I'm making. For example, the scene in Winter Soldier when Cap's thinking about back in 1945 with Bucky and him kind of having that moment with I'm here to the end of the line with you. I think that makes more sense in the 2014 timeline than the 1945. It would kind of be jarring to just kind of put that in there, and then like in the 2014 timeline, we've already seen that, so technically it would just be Cap just kind of staring out at a dam for a couple seconds, and then, like, you know, it makes more sense that way. I also applied this to Endgame because when everyone's doing time travel, we're following the characters of our present going back in time. So, like, we're seeing the present day Captain America and Iron Man travel back to 1970. Also, the scenes that take place in New York and on Asgard in 2012 and 2013, they don't really make sense if you're cutting to two different versions of Iron Man. You're like, what is happening? So this has just been something I've been spinning my wheels on for the past couple years. It's kind of fun. I like editing, so I figure, you know, why not? It's helped me become more of a perfectionist. It's helped me with sound editing immensely. Like, I know way more about sound editing than I ever thought I needed to. Also better at problem solving, because I paid close attention during, like, if scenes happened at night and the next scene happened at day, and kind of cut in between the timeline to figure out, does this all make sense? Not to mention, it's kind of fun. Sometimes you can find like unintentional cuts in there, and like, you know, they make sense like later on. I'll explain later. And of course, as the years go by, I'm gonna keep adding these movies in. Like, I'm waiting for Spider-Man Far From Home to come out, and then probably gonna put Black Widow and Black Panther 2 and the other movies that are coming out eventually. I don't think I'll ever render this video. I think it's just gonna live in Premiere for me, because like I never want it to end. I might do like a phase 1 through 3, like Infinity Saga thing, but then I'd have to get the credit thing. Anyway, if you want to see how and where I made my edits for my Supercut, you can click this link in the video up here. That should be done, hopefully, if I don't procrastinate again. But yeah, or if you want to freehand it, just go down to the links in the description. Those are my time codes. You can do whatever you want with them. And so like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.